Hello my friends, this is Humanox, and in today's tutorial with the Digitone 2 I want to show you how we can turn this into this. But before we get started, just a quick reminder, if you've enjoyed that video, don't forget to leave it a like. Leave me a comment in the comment section down below, tell me what you think, and hit subscribe if you haven't done so already. Okay, so with that out of the way, let's get started. So as usual, let's create a new project so that we can start from scratch. Okay, here we are. Default sounds. So let's select that track and let's actually just select the wavetone engine for the moment to make it a little bit easier to dial in a sound. Yeah. Just something. Really nothing spectacular, you know, it's just for demo purposes. Okay, so we have a basic sound now. Let's get a sequence in. Really, just something like this. We want to hear that reverb. Let's actually set up the reverb. So we are right here on the reverb settings. Just to make sure that we have enough reverb in the first place, let's do it like this. That should do. Now let's crank it in and let's listen. And while I think it's okay for what it is, you know, it definitely lacks some depth and, you know, some density, and I think it's just not big enough, you know. So let's change that now. And the way we do this is we actually copy the sound and place it onto a second track that we will then modify so that its output cannot be heard. You know? Let me show you what I mean. So this is the sound. Let's copy it. And let's go to the second track, for example, and let's paste it in. So we have it on both tracks now. And on that one, we go into the settings right here, into audio routing. This is down here. And up to main. And here we take it out. And now we only hear the reverb of it. Have a listen. But we still hear it on that track. Okay? Yeah. And to make sure that this track is triggered from that track as well, we actually configure our track layer for this. So we go into the kit setup, go down to track layering, and now while we are on that first track where the sound is on, we tap that one in, go out, and you can hear it's triggering that second track together, and we can already hear that that we have more reverb now. It's still the same reverb, just more of it. Of course, we have two tracks generating reverb now. Okay, so what can we do from there on? Well, we can change the sound on the second track to make sure that it sounds different to the first track. So we add some color to the actual reverb. Let's have a listen. First, let's do something like this and change a little bit here. Like so, maybe so, and so. Okay, so and now we can play back the sequence and have a listen to what we came up with already. So let's first make sure that the track level of the second track is all the way up. When you do this for real, you know, you obviously will adjust this so that it's not so extreme, but it's for demo purposes. So we will push it all the way up, you know. So that's fine. Now we go into first track and let's have it see. This is without it. And this is with. It's already quite different, right? But it mustn't stop there, you know. We can also go in and just change the machine that we are using on that one. So let's, for example, take the Swarmer machine and have a listen to how that sounds. change the thing just a little bit, you know, ever so slightly. And now let's have a listen how that sounds. Completely different, right? So we have a completely different tone to the reverb now. And we can also obviously go in and change a lot of these things here. And for example, give that one a much longer reverb tail, so to say, by just increasing the release of that second track, which I will now simply call a reverb track. So let's have a listen to how that sounds. Very noisy, and to get rid of that we can also use the bass width filter on that second track to adjust it a little. So take some low end out and yeah, actually do something to the higher frequencies. So now it's not so bright anymore. I mean, just a quick note, I don't actually know if you can really hear it so well on the audio systems you are listening on. I am using headphones at the moment, and for me these changes are definitely very noticeable. So just to get that out of the way as well. Okay, so that's actually the basic thing, and choosing other machines on that second track will definitely alter the reverb and can, if everything goes wrong, really lead to some huge and epic reverbs if you do it to the extreme and if you really take your time with this. But there's one thing where you might ask, okay, how does that work with chords now? So, well, with chords it's basically the same. I just quickly want to show you this. So this is a track. We go in here and let's say we use a chord mode, like chord center, for example. Quickly change the root note here and do some sort of a Lydian scale. And listen to that now. So it's basically does work the same way, but you might ask yourself, okay, now when I have these chords, does that kill my polyphony? Sadly, yes, it does. Because obviously, because we are duplicating that track, but we are only using the reverb from the second track, the notes are still generated there. So it's like that. Look at how many notes we are generating now. So always twice the notes. It's as if you would have unison active on the first track with two voices, you know. It's basically the same, but this is a drawback that we cannot get rid of because we are just doubling the tracks, so to say. Now, if a situation arises where you say, okay, I don't have that much polyphony for that purpose, you know, there are ways to actually do it like this. We go on the second track, and we are on that second track right here, and we can, for example, just change its play mode to mono, like so, you know. This makes sure that there are not so much voices generated. We only have one additional voice in that case, but the reverb is also much more static now. Oh, sorry, I'm on the wrong track. See? In comparison to that, it's obviously different now. See? Okay. So those are just things to consider. If you are running low on polyphony, you might want to turn that second reverb track to mono to just save yourself some voices, you know. Okay, but the reverb doesn't actually sound so amazingly well when we are just on a static sound like this. So whenever we want to do changes to this live and we want to make sure that the second reverb track is also affected, we can use our control all configuration for that. So let's go back into the kit right here and let's say control all config. Now we just take all of these out, effectively turn control all into control selected, and now only those two tracks are affecting each other. So what we can now do is we can set the whole thing up, like do a low pass filter on that one and a low pass filter on that one too. And now it's just a matter of dialing the parameters while we hold the track button, like so. That way we can actually change it on both tracks at the same time. And when we play the sequence, it sounds like this. Okay, let me just check if I can still change something here, you know. There's a bitrate reduction right here. Let's see how that differs. Now let's first take the filter up. Yeah, I think you get the point, you know. And so this is how we can do that stuff, you know, by just doubling the track and taking it out from the main output so that we only hear its reverb. We have the opportunity to change the sound of that second track completely in comparison to the one that we actually hear. And this actually creates a whole different type of reverb for this and adds to the reverb that we already have on the first track. So we can mix and match and blend these things together, and we get a great variety of reverbs that we can do that way, and they are all very great. And if we take our time to really dive into this, we can create some really huge and epic things that way. Okay, so that's it for now. Hope you liked that video, and I also hope you've learned something. And yeah, I want to say thanks for watching, and I see you in my next video. Bye!